Referred to the Committee on Foreign Affairs and ordered printed. For what purpose does the gentleman from Wisconsin seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House do now adjourn.
The question is on the motion to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. In a close vote, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted.
A thunderous blow hits U.S. President Donald Trump. And shockingly, it doesn't come from Democrats, but from the very party he leads. In a stunning revolt, more than a dozen Republicans broke ranks and sided with Democrats to overturn one of Trump's most sweeping executive orders. More than a dozen Republican members joined rival Democrats against Trump. Inside the House of Representatives, the chamber voted 222 to 200 to push forward a bill that would undo Trump's March order, a directive that stripped collective bargaining rights from nearly 1 million federal workers. The surprise push was triggered by Democratic Congressman Jared Golden, who forced the vote using a procedural move known as a discharge petition. Golden's bill, called the Protect America's Workforce Act, PAWA, seeks to restore union rights for employees at agencies central to national security, healthcare, and veterans affairs, many of whom are veterans themselves. He thanked 13 Republicans who supported this motion along with every Democrat, saying, "We will finish the job and vote to restore union rights to roughly 1 million federal workers."
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Protect America's Workforce Act would overturn President Trump's executive order from March that ended collective bargaining rights for roughly 1 million Americans who work for the federal government. Since the order was made, the administration has ripped up more than 700,000 union contracts. The order was the largest act of union busting in American history, and it left our federal workforce more vulnerable to unfair treatment and political interference. I'm proud that since introducing this bill, it's won the support of 226 of my colleagues in this chamber. This majority includes Democrats and Republicans who recognize that collective bargaining is not a partisan issue. It's about fairness, dignity on the job, and a voice in the workplace. In his order, President Trump said ending collective bargaining was about protecting our national defense. But in my district and many others, affected workers build our warships and care for our veterans. These workers make our country safer and stronger every single day. America didn't vote to silence these workers, but this bill gives all of us a chance to restore their voices. Every one of us in this body was sent here by our constituents to represent their voice in Congress. While the majority leadership has broad prerogative to set the calendar and control the flow of legislation, no one here believes they should have absolute power to determine which bills see the light of day and which don't. The discharge petition process exists to give members of Congress some agency. It's a release valve to ensure that good bills with broad support cannot be held up forever by a leadership team. It gives us a fair shot at building a coalition to do the people's work and get an up or down vote on the floor. That's exactly how my colleagues and I have spent the past several months. We've built a bipartisan coalition representing a majority of the House in support of this bill and done the work to bring it to the floor. I know that none of us ran for office with a vision of governing by discharge petition. Most of us long for the return of regular order, where bills are assessed in committee, seriously debated, and given a vote. But here we are. As it stands, we must use every tool available to do the people's work. I'm grateful to my 8 Republican colleagues who co-sponsored the bill, led by my friend Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick of Pennsylvania, and to the 5 Republicans who signed the discharge petition to ensure that this chamber would hold this vote. If the majority we built over the past few months sticks together, we can overturn this union-busting executive order, and we can show America that this body will protect workers' rights. I urge my colleagues to vote yes on the rule. Let these workers have their day on the House floor. Give them an up or down vote. They deserve that much. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Soon after taking charge in January, Trump signed the executive order that banned collective bargaining within multiple federal agencies, including parts of the Departments of Defense, State, Veterans Affairs, Justice, and Energy, as well as some workers in Homeland Security, Treasury, HHS, Interior, and Agriculture. Federal employees, unlike their private sector counterparts, already have restricted union rights. They cannot collectively bargain over wages or benefits and are barred from striking, but unions can negotiate on employment conditions. Golden's bill is seen as a ray of hope for them.
We have informed the federal workforce, which they've looked to do for many years, that if they're working for the federal government, they must show up to the office on time and on schedule. We don't want them. We don't want them to work from home because, as everyone knows, most of the time they're not working, they're not very productive, and it's unfair to the millions of people in the United States who are in fact working hard from job sites and not from their home. As federal employees, they must meet a high standard. They're representing our government, they're representing our country. If they don't agree by February 6th to show up back to work in their office, they will be terminated, and we will therefore be downscaling our government, which is something that the last 10 presidents have tried very hard to do but failed. Most of the people we're talking about have not been going to their federal offices in many, many years, from even before COVID. But they have nevertheless been paid. Some have worked, some haven't worked, and most of the studies say that some have just gone through the motions. We may ask these people to prove that they didn't have another job during their so-called employment with the United States of America, because if they did, that would be unlawful. As you understand, a lot of people are getting paychecks, but they're actually working other jobs, so they'll have to prove that to us that they weren't. In any event, we're requiring them to show up to work or be terminated. We think a very substantial number of people will not show up to work, and therefore our government will get smaller and more efficient, and that's what we've been looking to do for many, many decades, frankly.
Liz Shuler, president of AFL-CIO, which works for the rights of people in American unions, thanked Congressman Jared Golden.
When our federal workers can't stand up for themselves, are we better off? No. When this administration puts at risk our clean water, the safety of our food, our veterans, our heroes that can't get the care they need because the federal workforce is hollowed out, we are not better off. That hurts all of us, hurts every community. And so we have the chance right now to do something incredibly powerful, to actually come together and say, let's protect those who protect us. And I couldn't be prouder of our workers, our local labor leaders who've already mobilized in their communities and contacted their elected officials to help them see how important this legislation is. And to every member of Congress, I say, come be a part of this massive bipartisan win. Help us get this done together and show that government can deliver common sense. So let's restore these rights to working people. Let's do something that the vast majority of Americans support in every community. And let's start showing a new path forward where we work together to deliver for the people.
The House voted on Wednesday to move Golden's bill forward, setting up a debate and a final vote on the measure, expected as soon as Thursday. If approved, the legislation will move to the Senate for further debate and a vote. If the bill passes both chambers, it would be sent to Trump for his signature or veto. Trump's executive order remains in effect until the legislative process is completed.